So I was reading a book yesterday that was aimed at helping me to be more aware of my bodily positions, whether I'm moving forward, whether I'm moving backwards, if I'm laying down, if I'm walking. So basically, it helps me to drop back into the present moment and be, more aware of what I'm doing in the present moment. Um, I found myself narrating what I was doing. So I'm now calling this technique Narrate Your Day. And I'm sure maybe somebody else has a really good name for it, but that's what I'm calling it. So I tried this yesterday and I found that it was really difficult to practice while I was at work, but before work and after work, I tended to remind myself about it and pick it back up almost immediately. Here's the good news. When I was practicing it, I noticed a lot of really cool things. Number one, I found that actually most of my actions are quite reactive rather than intentional. So, for example, when I was narrating, I wouldn't narrate, I am now about to turn my head. I am now about to look out the window. It was usually more reactive, which is I would hear a sound and I would immediately turn and look and react to the sound. Or I would intuitively or spontaneously look out the window for whatever reason. And I would then narrate, I just looked out the window. I just looked over at the sound. So it's a really interesting observation that, I'm so conditioned in habit energy that I'm typically not as present and intentional with my behavior as I thought I was. So that's really good information. That means that I have room to practice and room to improve. Another thing that I noticed was that, again, I couldn't really practice as well during the day, but in the beginning of the day, before I started my work day, I was able to be so present with this practice that I noticed things I normally wouldn't have noticed, and it brought me a lot of joy and happiness, which means that I started my day on a really good foot. I was able to start my day with a lot of joy and happiness. I'll just give you one very simple example. I was walking after I got off the bus to get to work, and I was walking and I kept narrating to myself, I'm walking, I'm still walking, I'm walking in the present moment, I'm enjoying my steps, I'm walking in this moment. And it sounds really stupid and redundant, but it was keeping me anchored in the present moment so that my brain didn't take off on some random monkey mind tangent. Because I was able to do that for a considerable amount of time, I was able to notice things I normally wouldn't notice. So I would see, the flower in the grass that I normally wouldn't have seen is like an ocean of green grass and this one tiny little purple flower. And it brought me so much happiness and joy just to know that I was present and able to bear witness to that beauty. And so that happiness was able to continue through my day. So this is just an example of how narrate your day can be a benefit, and I can see that I have a lot of room to improve and to practice this much more. So as I do, I'll probably update this comment thread or something with more experiences later on. But I'm hoping that maybe some of you already have a lot of experience with doing this, and maybe you can give me some help and some input and share some of your experiences with me. Or if you're newer, to go and give it a shot and then come back and leave me a comment about what your experiences were. Either way, I'm really happy to practice this with you guys and to explore this together. As usual, please leave questions if you're interested in asking any questions. I'll hopefully be able to answer them. And please follow, and subscribe so that way we can continue to practice together. All right, I wish you well in your practice.